I am back at it again to answer an age-old question that nobody has been asking. How fast can you touch fire in every Kingdom Hearts game? I've already covered touching grass and touching water in previous videos, so feel free to check those out after you watch this video. For this speedrun, the rules are simple. For me to be touching fire, I must be in control of the character, and the fire should have some sort of reaction to touching the character. That means casting fire from the Keyblade doesn't count, and most forms of environmental fire don't count either, since they usually have an invisible barrier around them and don't react to the character touching the flames. Unlike the water video, I am counting magical fire in the speedrun because there are unfortunately very few ways, if any, to touch fire in the environment outside of Kingdom Hearts 3's Olympus and Monsters Inc. worlds. Before we get started, I'd like to thank today's sponsor for literally putting food on my table. Thank you so much to Factor75 for sponsoring today's video. As America's #1 ready-to-eat meal company, Factor delivers you fresh, never frozen, chef-prepared meals directly to your door. A lot of the time, after a long day of work, I don't have time to cook myself a meal, so that's when Factor comes in. It's as simple as poking a couple of holes in the protective film, sticking the food in the microwave for a couple minutes, and then you have a nice fresh dinner on your table. For this meal, I had a Dijon mushroom burger with a side of bacon cauliflower, and boy was it delicious. If that's not for you, Factor has over 100 meals, breakfasts, shakes, and snacks to choose from. All designed for great nutrition and taste, with options to fit your specific dietary and nutritional needs. Factor meals are all made without refined seed oils, sugar, or any artificial junk, and most meals have at least 30 grams of protein or more, which is great for staying full and supporting your workouts. Head to Factor75.com, scan the QR code, or click the link below and use my code ViolinSpeedrunsF to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. One per box with active subscription, free meals applied as discount on first box, new or returning subscribers only, varies by plan. Sign up today. The Touch Fire speedrun starts with KH1, and I'm playing on beginner mode this time. The reason for this is because you start with 8 strength ups, which allows me to destroy enemies like Darkseid a lot faster. After defeating Darkseid, I pick up all of the raft materials, talk to Kairi, and collect a bunch of food for the trip that never was. After destroying Riku in the race, I collect the rest of the ingredients and talk to Kairi again to progress the story. I obtain the Keyblade through some Disney magic and proceed to fight Darkseid again, parrying an orb for some extra damage. Sora is then transported to Traverse Town, and I head over to the 2nd district. After killing 5 shadows, I head into the accessory shop to talk to Sid, and then exit to fight Leon. Thankfully, Leon can cast a fireball, and I end up touching fire at 11 minutes and 44 seconds. Chain of Memories is next, and thankfully I don't have to go very far. After a long unskippable opening, I have to go to Traverse Town as my first world. Unfortunately, Leon isn't able to shoot a fireball here, but after going through a few rooms, I encounter a red Nocturne Heartless and touch fire in 5 minutes and 29 seconds. Chain of Memories is very similar, with it being a literal remake of the GBA game and all. Funny enough though, the time for this is almost the same, even though you can skip the opening this time. That's because the tutorials are so much longer, and the 3D space makes it take a bit longer to get around, I suppose. I encounter another red Nocturne in Traverse Town and touch fire in 5 minutes and 16 seconds. KH2 is a little bit more interesting. I start the game on beginner again for the increased damage output. After going through a brief tutorial, I select the Struggle Bat for +1 strength and defeat Cypher with some specific ground and air combos to manipulate the RNG pattern for the upcoming Dusk fight. Unfortunately, I mess up the Dusk fight by getting parried, but I still get the 10 hits I need relatively quickly. After getting the Keyblade, I do 2 hits in a full combo to kill the Dusk. I then do the mail delivery minigame once, getting a time of over 7 seconds because I'm rusty, and skateboard up to Hayner to give him my hard-earned cash. I have to fight another invincible Dusk by dealing 10 hits, and I select the sword, which doesn't really affect this run to be honest. I'm pitted up against 3 Dusks this time, and I can repeat the same 2 hits in a full combo that I did on the first Dusk. After that fight, I equip Aerial Recovery and walk all the way up to Twilight Thorn. After a set of reaction commands, I do 4 air combos in quick succession and an extra hit afterwards, and back up to the Donald portrait to start attacking the boss's head as soon as possible. After a few air combos, I get knocked up into the air, but I use Aerial Recovery to finish the fight immediately after. Up next are the struggle fights, with Hayner being my first opponent. What I wanted to do here is trap Hayner in a corner and keep doing air combos while dodging his attacks, but because I was rusty, I got hit quite a lot and lost some time. And unfortunately, Vivi wasn't any better. Overall, I think I lost almost 40 seconds to Hayner and Vivi combined, but the show must go on. For this next set of dusks, I use a bunch of reversals and some 1-2 hits to keep all of the dusks stunned, and finally I can fight Axel. By hitting Axel a bunch of times non-stop, I can trigger his revenge attack, which is enveloped in fire, and I touch fire in 8 minutes and 54 seconds. It would also mean a lot to me if you touch that like and subscribe button if you're interested in more Kingdom Hearts or speedrunning content. Up next is Days. I start the story mode on beginner and I have to go through a lot of tutorials. First up is this mission with Axel where I get a bit lost in the underground while I search for a chest. After that is a short combat tutorial with Marluxia where I have to hit some shadows and yellow operas. Then I have to defeat 7 Heartless with Zexion, where there are more yellow operas and some plants. I equip some fire spells onto Roxas for the next mission, where I have to defeat some more plants and yellow operas while Larxene stands around awkwardly. On day 12, I have to do this dumb scouting mission with Vexen, where we find out that this floor is indeed made out of floor. Still no fire in sight. For day 13, I equip Dodge Roll, Scan, and a couple Ethers, and then Lexius helps me go Super Saiyan. For day 14, I equip Skill Gear and go into Twilight Town with Axel to collect some hearts. And finally, I'm able to touch some fire from the Scarlet Tango Heartless in 7 minutes and 20 seconds. Sorry, Mr. Krabs, it looks like we won't be making it to day 15. Birth by Sleep is up next, and I learned from my friend Sonic that it's fastest to play as Terra for this challenge. First, I have to smack all of these orbs for the Mark of Mastery challenge, and after that I can go to the Enchanted Dominion. After the first wave of 5 floods, a group of red hot chilies spawn, and although they take forever to attack me, I eventually touch fire in 3 minutes and 53 seconds. Now it's time for Recoded. While the Touch Grass and Touch Water challenge was incredibly easy here and took just a minute or two, I was going to have to play this game for much longer this time around. At the start of the game, I pick the sword and give up the staff. I'm actually not sure what this does, but I figured I'd be using a lot of physical attacks, so that's why I picked sword. After the combat tutorial and dive into the heart, I get transported to the Destiny Islands, where I have to talk to some islanders, do a little bit of platforming, and install some chips. I also made sure to set the game to beginner mode in the stat matrix, so I don't risk losing time to deaths. I have to go through the system sector and clear all of these bugged Heartless, where I obtained the power armlet to help me deal more damage. After fighting Titus, I equip the fire spell and head over to the secret place, which triggers the dark side fight. This is a very long 3-phase fight, but with my attack commands and fire spell, I'm able to get through the fight pretty quickly. However, after being done with Darkside, I'd already been playing Recoded for much longer than any other game in this challenge, and I wasn't done yet. I was hopeful going into Traverse Town though, because I thought I'd find a red Nocturne pretty quickly. I couldn't have been more wrong. In my search for Huey, Dewey, and Louie, there were nothing but large bodies, shadows, and soldiers. Even in the various system sectors I had to go to, there were no fire enemies in sight. I thought that I could maybe take fire damage from the core block in the first system sector, since when I hit it, it looked like a magma block, but I think that was just a visual effect and nothing more. The second system sector only had shadows and soldiers as well, but after that I could finally go to the 3rd district, and after many waves of soldier Heartless, I was finally able to get hit by a red Nocturne in 26 minutes and 37 seconds. Next is Dream Drop Distance. Honestly, I had no idea where I was going to be touching fire here. The only thing that came to mind is the Wargoyle boss fight or the Char Clobster, but both of those would take forever for me to get to compared to the other games. However, by a stroke of luck, a chatter of mine with a lot of Dream Drop Distance knowledge said that I could take fire damage from the heavy rep nightmares in Traverse Town. First, I had to fight Ursula. While she does fire a laser beam, I don't think that counts as fire, so I moved on and went to Traverse Town. After a fight against some nightmares in the 2nd district, I made my own Meow Wow, went over to the 3rd district, and got swapped over to Riku. After I did the dive to Traverse Town with Riku, I tried taking fire damage from the heavy rep, and it would only do its normal attack. So I left to the 2nd district to make Komori Bet and fight some more nightmares. That's when my chat told me that I had to hit the heavy rep until it got mad and turned red, and only then would it do a fire attack. With that knowledge, I was able to touch fire in 9 minutes and 32 seconds. Kingdom Hearts 0.2 is already a short game, and I knew exactly where to take fire damage. I select beginner mode for extra damage and cartwheel my way to the first Shadows fight, doing a cool swing to get up over this ledge. After using some barriers and counter blasts, I head my way to the second Shadows fight to do the same thing. And after a few cutscene skips, I can head on over to the Broken Bridge, use Blizzaga to ride on the ice trail, and there are some Flame Core Heartless by the Frozen Fountain, allowing me to touch fire in 4 minutes and 3 seconds. Kingdom Hearts 3 was going to be pretty similar. I start the game on beginner mode, select Wisdom and Mystic for my starting option, options for stronger magic, and fight water side by doing air combos underneath the boss's head. When I arrive in Olympus, I use a bunch of water spells to get rid of this large body, and use air combos to clear the remaining shadows and air soldiers. After that, I climb up the wall and make my way to the first save point, after which is a fight against some more flame cores, where I finish touching fire in 5 minutes and 52 seconds. Lastly, we have Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. In the Touch Water video, Melody of Memory took the longest to get through because the only water I could touch was during the final boss. This time around though, it's quite the opposite, because after the unskippable, simple and clean opening, there's a red nocturne in the Dive into the Heart tutorial, and I touch fire in just 4 minutes and 7 seconds, with a final time of 1 hour, 42 minutes and 47 seconds. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please remember to like and subscribe, and a huge shout outs to my wonderful patrons over on Patreon. You can support me on Patreon for just $4.99 per month and have your name shown at the end of my videos. I hope you all have a wonderful day.